it's like riding a horse or getting back on the horse, getting back on the horse, or like riding a bike. One of those. You're going to be riding something.
I'm writing something. Where's the bell? We need a bell sound.
I I don't know where my bell is. I don't know where my bell is at this point. All right, are we ready to launch this show?
Sure.
Sure. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Fish, what the hell is that?
Oh, you remember our teacup turkey there, Gary, right?
Yeah, I remember him. Why?
Well, the vet seems to think he's transitioning to a rooster.
What, he doesn't know he's a turkey?
Yeah, we're gonna get a second opinion on that.
Well, if Ari doesn't quit it right now, we're going to be serving chicken tonight at the Dirty Turtle.
Ooh, okay. And that being said, it's time to play that music and start the show.
We should say something so they don't knock us on the YouTube.
I got a truckload.
And when you get it,
What you got?
got something.
So
Don't worry.
Cause I'm coming. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man.
That's right. I think that that's an appropriate way to start the show. Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to Room 13. I am Rocky with an I. That over there is Mr. Fish. Fresh back from surgery, and we are broadcasting as we usually do from the Desert Air Motel, Casino Convention Center, RV Park, Chapel, home to the Dirty Turtle, and I hear that there's going to be an ice rink put in,
Ooh, yes, very timely.
and some slopes for skiing, and a lift and a ski lift.
Not good. Not good.
Hmm.
I feel for all you guys down in Texas. That's rough. Hopefully we can make you forget about it
It has
for at
been
least an hour.
Yeah. It's been a tough week for our friends and family in Texas. It's been chilly. And not the chili that you eat because food is very scarce right now in Texas, as you can imagine. It's things are not looking good, and I hope that things start warming up. So for those of us that live in warmer states, we are sending some heat and love and warmth to everyone in Texas.
Technically, right now I live in a warmer state.
Well, I
Right,
live in a
Texas.
warmer state regardless, but I do have hurricanes to worry about for about 3 months out of the year. So there's
Our
that.
inaugural show on Facebook. This should be fun.
Fingers crossed. Bear with us. We are in the process of testing this out. We are hoping to be successful in uploading the video portion of the show to YouTube and Facebook under the Mojo 50 pages. So let's see what happens. Hopefully it all goes well.
I mean, you
Uh,
dressed up for this. It's great. You look very nice tonight.
Thank you. I am for those
What you
of you
rocking?
who
What you
can't see,
rocking?
I am rocking a very well. I'm trying to shift my. I am
Ooh,
wearing
very
a
nice.
very vintage,
Collectors.
Bells of Liberty T-shirt, collector's edition. Bells of Liberty edition.
I
And
was
in case you don't know, the Bells of Liberty are going to be airing later today I'm not sure if they're going to have a new show or not later today, but their show does air Saturdays from 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. So give it a listen. They're another fellow show here on the network on Mojo 50. So go to mojo50.com and you can listen to all of the other shows on the network, Bells of Liberty being one of them.
I was gifted a Mojo 50 polo.
Those polos are very, very nice, let me tell you.
Very, very nice. I dressed up for the occasion. I mean, I'm wearing at least clothes from the top up. That's
Yeah, I can't show you what's going on, below the waist.
See, 'cause
No,
look,
oh geez,
I'm wearing
oh
very
geez.
nice.
Oh,
See, very
I-
stylish. Very stylish. I mean,
those, like-
Brad says pants aren't,
pickle
necessary.
pants or
pickle boxers.
pickle boxers? Okay, I figured that they were pickle boxers because the green screen kind of
Did they shift or did they blend?
they blended in with the background, so it was like the only
Oh.
thing that's green on a pair of shorts like that is pickles. So
Hmm.
that's what I figured. But anyway, perhaps
hit-
next time.
So we hid the pickle.
Yes, I suppose we did.
Okay.
suppose
Having
we
said
did.
that, I guess we should go to contest time.
Yes, we should go to contest time. Did we get the information from the powers that be?
No, because the powers that be have no power.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Well, we can extend it.
Well,
Right?
yeah, that's part of the information. We are going to extend our t-shirt contest to March. And as soon as the powers that be get power again, they will be giving us a list. And
Mhm.
at least the first 2 winners of the Mojo 50 t-shirts. So that's what we're waiting for, is for them to get the power back to the system.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, since this week, because of the weather situation in Texas, it's very likely that you are not listening to our show through iHeartRadio because the show cannot or the network cannot broadcast to iHeart because there's no power. So you would be able to listen to our show through any of our podcast apps. So you can listen to our content on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and I think that it'll load on iHeart Podcasts eventually, won't it?
Yeah, everything will load up. They're just not,
It's not live. It's not airing live
yeah.
on iHeart right now because technical difficulties and stuff like that. So yeah. So
Do you want to explain the contest for the nice, lovely people that know not of the contest?
yes. I'll explain the contest. So, obviously, and this is an example as to why we are doing the contest. So right now, what we're doing for Mojo 50 is that we have a promotion going on that for every dollar that is donated to Mojo 50 at mojo50.com/donate, your name will be added into a list and you'll be entered into a drawing to win a Mojo 50 t-shirt. So for every $25 that we collect through the mojo50.com/donate website, by also adding the magic word so that we know that it is you making the donation because you listen to our show and you listen to the network, your name will be entered into that drawing. So for every $25 that the network receives, one person will be selected. So donate.
The secret word of the week for the Mojo t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say the word?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
You
I
you
do.
were a jerk when you picked this word.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. But you love it anyway. The magic word this week is kidney stone.
Ah!
You know a thing or two about kidney stones, don't you, Mr. Fish?
Oh, one really, really big one and a bunch of little pebbles. I've been passing kidney stones for like the last couple days. It's been fun. It's been fun.
So, for those of you who are curious as to where Fish has been all this time, I'm sure you recall that he had mentioned that he had quite a sizable kidney stone that he needed to have reduced. So, Kidney stone has been reduced, and now you're just passing the fragments of it, I hear.
Yes.
So it's like sand and sediment and little baby kidney stones.
Thanks for making me feel better. No.
What am I here for? That's about it. That's about it. So yeah, kidney stones. But I know that you have some really good stories about all of that. So let's cue it up.
That segment you just can't get enough of. Tales from a Fish starts now.
I hear you have a couple tales.
So do you want to play the tale I called in from the hospital room first?
Yes, I'm going to play that one. So last week I had a very special guest with me.
Oh, yeah, people. She had a great show planned out. It didn't fall into place like it should have, but it was going to be great for everybody except me.
It was a great show and it was a fun show, but unfortunately, technical difficulties prevented me from releasing the content to the general public. I was not going to put my name behind not a mediocre product, not because of the content, but because of the technical issues. So I played it safe, and I just figured let's just make this a bye week. But we've saved some of the content from last week, and we're transplanting it to this week. So Fish had called with a story about his a stay at the hospital. So I'm going to air that right now.
You didn't think I wouldn't call this week, did you? You didn't think I wouldn't have a fish tale to share? Of course something dumb happened to me this week. Of course it was something stupid. It doesn't matter that I'm in the hospital right now recovering. Something dumb always happens to me, and, well, I feel obligated to share. Because if I didn't share this story, it would go to waste. So I'm in the hospital. I'm recovering, just had surgery done. That night after surgery, the lights are kind of low and dim, and I'm hopped up on some good painkiller. I mean, I'm not feeling anything but joy. And there's a knock at the door. Of course, it's my nurse, because why wouldn't my nurse come visit me at 1 a.m? I haven't met the new nurse staff just yet. And they're coming to check on my vitals, because they do it every 2 to 3 hours just to make sure I'm not dead. So they do the same tests. You know, they take my blood, heartbeat, pulse, the whole shot. And I don't know why. So I hear the knock at the door. Hey, Mr. Fish. It's Danny. I'm your night nurse. Okay, Danny. And I got my eyes kind of half open. The lights are kind of dim because, trying to sleep. And it's like, I gotta do some tests, Mr. Fish. Is that okay to come in? I'm gonna do your tests. I'm like, all right. And I kind of roll over. It's like, Mr. Fish, if you could just roll to the right, I'm gonna check your vitals. I start to open my eyes and okay. And I roll to my right. Mr. Fish, if you can just extend your right arm out, I'm just going to take your blood pressure and your pulse. Okay, Danny, okay. And I wait a second, and I don't feel anything just yet. Danny, are you there? He's like, yes, sir, I'm just setting up things. I'm right over here on your right. I'm like, okay. I'm going to turn the lights now. Okay, and I close my eyes real tight, and I open them back up. And I look to my right, and there's no one there. Hey, Danny, are you there? Yes, sir, I'm right here. I'm going to take your arm right now and just take your pulse and do your blood pressure. I'm like, okay. I thought maybe he walked away for a second, and I waited. And that's when I felt the sensation of hands around my wrist and my forearm. But I wasn't seeing anyone to my right, where there should be, to take my blood pressure and my pulse. But I felt the sensation of someone around my wrist and my forearm. And then I could hear a blood pressure cuff going up my forearm. And then I felt the pressure of the blood pressure cuff. Danny? Yes, Mr. Fish. I'm like, this is real, right? This isn't some drug-induced thing. You're really here? He starts to chuckle and he's like, yes, Mr. Fish. He's like, we haven't met yet. I'm Danny. And I'm like, okay. And he's like I said, I'm going to do some tests. He's like, are you feeling okay? And I'm like, I think so. I don't see you. He's like, sir, I'm right here. And I'm like, I can hear you. I'm like, I just can't see you. He's like, are you having vision problems? I'm like, just you. I can see the whole room. And that's when I feel the sensation, a little more of a squeeze and a little tapping on my right side. And Mr. Fish, I'm right here. And I'm like, yes, I'm looking to the right. He's like, no, Mr. Fish, look down and to the right. They should tell the patient about any surprises they might encounter while staying at the lovely hospital I was staying at. Any kind of little things that might happen, any kind of little situations you might run into, any kind of little people you might run into, because that's a shock when you're coming out of a drug-induced haze and not quite feeling yourself and not having slept in a little while. You see, my nurse, Danny, who was quite delightful, he was a little person. Imagine my shock when I looked down and to the right and I saw my nurse, because my bed was a little elevated and I was kind of popped up a little bit, and I looked down and to the right and there's Danny. I had a little nurse. Oh my gosh, a little nurse. It was fantastic. He had a little stethoscope and he was wearing little scrubs, and it was so cool. I was so cool. And I tried not to laugh. I really tried. And I tried not to scream too. And he said, they didn't tell you, did they? I'm like, tell me what? Tell me what? And he's like, that I'm your nurse. And I'm like, no one said anything. No one said anything. I'm like, didn't know I was going to get a male nurse. And he's like, no, that's not it. And I'm like, I don't know what you mean. He's like, that I was a little person. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, they should really have a warning on that, dude. I'm just like, because I'm not with it right now. And he kind of sighed. He's like, this happens all the time. And I'm like, I am so sorry for you, man. There is nothing like coming out of a drug-induced state at 1 a.m, having not slept in 2 days, and in the darkness, learning that your nurse is a little nurse and is a little person. Fantastic person. My new friend. We laughed. We had some good jokes. But yeah. I regret not taking a picture. I could not get to my phone at that point. And I did not know how to even ask, could I get a picture with him? So I might have to go back to the hospital to do that. So have fun, y'all. Talk to y'all soon.
He was a good sport about it. He was a great sport about it. I told him I'm like, I do have a talk show, and this is probably gonna be fodder if I can remember exactly what happened. And yeah, it was fun.
Now, and this was something that I had discussed with the very special guest that we had lined up last week. Do you remember? Yes, at this point, for those of you who are watching, it was Mrs. Fish. My special guest was Mrs. Fish. It was a ladies' night episode because we utilized it to blah 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 and talk about you. But
can't see how that was going to go wrong.
Yes. So my question is, do you remember the story that you told me once about being in the supermarket?
Yes.
I was going to say, I don't think that there are that many little people living in the area where you live. Could Danny have been related to the little person that you saw at the supermarket that time in the morning?
Well, we have a little person that listens to the show, right?
No, who?
She's listening to the show right now. Stealthy Jill Hull. She's a midget trucker.
Is she? I know she's tiny, but
no. Chris Branham said she's a midget trucker.
Okay. Stealth Jack Hole in Chicago.
Stealth Jack Hole. Yeah.
She's a little person?
She's a little person. And if I see her, I get Mojo Bingo.
Okay.
Because that would make 3 little people I've seen in the whole couple months, and I got one in the store, I got one at the hospital, and if I could find her, I get bonus points because she's a midget trucker.
It
So
goes to show you that that kind of stuff doesn't matter to me.
what was the actual question?
No, but the actual question was, could Danny be related in any way, shape, or form to the little person that you saw at the supermarket that one time?
I'm sure all leprechauns are related some way.
Yes, exactly. Well, except for the one leprechaun that we know.
Well, yeah, there's that. Oh, that
He's
that
not a real.
leprechaun.
He's not like he's not a little person leprechaun.
No,
He's just a lep
but he is, magically delicious. But so
or something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
that's
Something
correct.
magical.
Something along those lines. So we probably have about 4 minutes left. Do you
You should
want
do
to
the
discuss what?
Ooh, you should do the breaking news that just came across the desk.
What came across the desk
The breaking news.
about?
Oh my gosh. They found him. This is fantastic.
Who did they find?
Oh, you should read this.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. Should I use my news reporter voice?
Yes, and the sound effect that goes with it, the teletype.
Oh, I
teletype?
I don't have it. You do it, and I read the news.
Oh, what happened to the teletype? Did we just lose that in the budget?
Well,
Okay.
the weather, because of inclement weather conditions. So we have received unsubstantiated reports that one Ron Phillips, that guy behind the glass, has been located. We have not heard from our leader since last weekend. An unnamed source, however, has reported that Ron was in room 20 of the hotel on the toilet using his beloved bidet when the temperatures in Texas dipped and the jet stream of water from the bidet flash froze. Oh my gosh, he's frozen to the toilet. We here at room 13 cannot confirm or deny this rumored report, but we are happy to report it.
and spread it. You're welcome.
And
Ron.
spread it. Yes.
I'm glad
Well,
they found him.
if it's frozen, are we really spreading it?
Hmm.
Just a thought.
Hmm.
So yeah, sorry, we lost it in the budget. It's the machine froze up and there's no
Oh.
teletype thing. But hey, Ron Phillips, we'll run over. We'll go to the Dirty Turtle and we'll get like a cup of hot water from the coffee
Ooh.
maker and just kind of help break the ice a little bit.
Can't we just get a blow dryer to do the job?
Mm,
Does that come off as dirty?
I think you might like that too much. It's gonna
Yeah.
feel a little breeze. All right, we have about 3 minutes. Do you want to share your second story, or do you want to
We
leave it
can-
for next week?
Oh no, we can start it. We could definitely start it. So I should probably be able to fill us in 3 minutes. So I came out of the anesthesia
Mm-hmm.
after they did the whole surgery thing, and much to my surprise, they put a catheter in. Did not know they were going to do that. Hell of a thing to wake up to from anesthesia. Anesthesia? No, amnesia.
Anesthesia,
anesthesia.
yes.
So woke up from that, and blah blah blah. It was not a good deal. I was not happy about it. It goes. If you don't know what a catheter is, it's a small tube, kind of long, and then for gentlemen, it goes up your
Urethra.
joystick. And depending on how blessed you are, it might be a very long way or a very short way. It just really depends. So was not happy. It goes into your bladder to help you pee.
Mhm.
So after my day 2 of my stay in the hospital, my nurse came in just before my release, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Fish." And I'm like, "Hey, D, what's going on?" Now, D is a 6'5", looks like he plays linebacker for the Detroit Lions, black man.
Mhm.
Huge human being. He had shoulders that would block out the sun. So if he asked me to do anything, my answer was always yes. I did not fight because I'm not going to win.
You just let it happen.
It's just going to lay there and let it happen. It was fine. So D's like, Big D was just like, "Hey, you're getting released today." I'm like, "That's great." And he's like, "We're going to have to take the catheter out." I'm like, "Yeah, about that," because they put the catheter in and I didn't know it went in. I was knocked out. And I'm like, "So you're gonna knock me out to take the catheter out?" And he's like, "No, that's not how it works." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, we have to have a talk." And I'm like, for one. And he's like, well, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt. I'm like, no pain. He's like, no pain. No ouch. No ouch. And I'm like, great. Okay. I'm on board so far. He's like, it feels different. He's like, it doesn't hurt. He's like, there's no pain. It's just an odd feeling. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, who's taking this out? And he said,
All right,
he was
leave
going
it,
to.
leave it there because we are just coming up on our first and only break of 2 minutes. With that pause, Room 13 will be back in a little bit. Hang tight, come back. This is going to be so much fun.
Which part? Me reliving the catheter?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. In a way, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Remember to keep it clean for the 2 minutes.
Keep it clean for the 2 minutes.
Yes, you have to keep it Disney for the 2 minutes.
Which 2 minutes? These
No
2 minutes right
F.
here?
The 2 minutes right now. Because remember, all of this is
recording, aren't we?
recording. Yes, we're still recording.
Oh. I just might as well keep my mouth shut then.
What did you think was happening during this time?
I have no idea what happens to this blah blah time. This is extra like bonus behind.
This is bonus content.
Bonus
Yes.
content. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do we talk about during the breaks?
I don't know. I don't know, man. You know.
I don't know. They're doing really well with the shirt contest though, so I was very happy with that.
Yes. I was kind of saddened that we weren't going to be able to have at least two people, right? Because I think that we had gathered enough funds to raffle off 2 T-shirts, right?
That was as of Thursday or Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'm hoping it's more by now.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we're back on the air again.
Yeah.
I know a
That'll
bunch of
be
other
nice.
other shows were really nice. They were retweeting it. Coppins, Oni.
I haven't had the chance to listen to much of anything. I mean, I think I listened to maybe half of Daily Mojo this week, in and out. And I think I popped in to listen to Mike Phillip like once or twice. I'm trying to be really good at this new job. And because everything's still so new, I'm trying to make sure that I do everything correctly 10 seconds. So
I thought you
I'm
just beeped yourself.
I'm keeping the distractions to a minimum 5 seconds. And here we go. Welcome back to Room 13, where Fish was telling us more about his catheter story.
So Big D, when last we left our fish,
Mm-hmm.
Big D, my 6'5" linebackerish nurse, was telling me on how he was going to take the catheter out. And I had asked him, I'm like, so who's taking it out? I'm like, since you've assured me that it doesn't hurt or there's no pain involved. He's like, well, I'm going to. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's my other option? He's like, why do we need another option? And I'm like, well, because if you need to take it out, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'll take one hand on the tube and one hand on you. And he's like, and I'm going to gently pull it out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, we have a problem. I'm like, because I'm not sure I'm comfortable with another man touching me there. And he's like, why was that? I'm like, because I'm pretty sure that would make me then gay. I'm like, we need another option. I'm like, any other option. I'm like, I'm just not comfortable. He's like, okay. I'm like, I can get Kim. And I'm like, what's a Kim? And he brought in Kim, and Kim was this little 24-year-old petite nurse. I'm like, we have a winner. So I'm like, Kim, guess what? You're up. So Kim did it. And she re-explained to me. She's like, oh, it's not going to hurt. And you won't, it just feels uncomfortable. And we don't numb you or anything like that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, here we go. So she put one hand on me. And at worst, what happens? I might get excited. I'm like, and the tube takes a couple inches extra to get out. So yeah, it's a bell. So don't look at me like that. You're trying not to laugh? Just standing there.
I'm
silent.
letting you continue the story.
Damn, you're gonna make me work for this story. Okay, cool. So Kim had one hand on me. She took a one hand on the tube, and she went, 1, 2, and I thought there was going to be a 3, and there was not a 3. She did not give me a 3. She went 1, 2, and I thought it was going to be a slow pull. Do you remember when we were kids, they had those cars where you took the rubber kind of plastic cord and you put it in the car
Yes.
and you ripped it back and then you let the car go? That's what
Yes.
happened. That's what happened. She took a hold of that cord
Yes.
and she went 3 and she went, wee. Do you know that scene from Princess Bride when Carrie Elways is hooked up to the machine and they asked him for posterity's sake, how did it feel going through the machine? And he went, that was me. That was me. I screamed bloody murder. She was like, oh, did it hurt? I'm like, yes, it hurt. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, is it still there? Is it still there? Is it? And I'm looking at the bottom of the tube that she ripped out of me. And she's like, sir, what are you looking for? And I'm like, I want to make sure I'm not at the end of that tube. I want to make sure I'm still attached. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, because my wife might actually miss that part of me. So yeah, it was an experience. She's like, nope, it's still there. And I'm like looking underneath the sheet. I'm like, I hope it still works. Oh, please still work.
The bits are still there.
It was just, yeah, I never want to go through that again. I just never, ever.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things that you have to put up with when you end up at a hospital for any kind of procedure. I know I had to have one for when I was in the
Oh,
hospital
don't compare this to
to
pregnancy.
have
This was
Melissa.
worse.
No, to have
This
Melissa.
was
No.
worse. Oh,
But by the
yes.
time that they removed it, it was I was still numb from the waist down. So, I didn't feel
wish.
any kind of discomfort. But they basically just kind of, take it off because they need you to move around after you push that big melon out of your body.
I have not had a burning sensation like that since that weekend in Tijuana. It was just awful.
Well, at least that burning sensation went away with some antibiotics.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So we still are doing our Spotlight Charity of the Month. This month we are doing Liberty Manor for veterans. That's actually a local charity here in the Tampa Bay area here in Florida. And the mission of Liberty Manor for Veterans is to promote the development and social needs of disabled and honorably discharged veterans who have fallen victim to homelessness by providing them with transitional supported housing and establishing objectives designed to attribute to self-sufficiency. The organization, when it was founded in 2005, identified avoidance services as it relates to homeless veterans. And it was evident at that time that veterans that worked hard and played it straight all of their lives received no services for housing. And knowing how much sacrifice the veterans have given us in order to keep us and keep our country safe, I think that housing is one of those things that we should all assist them, particularly if they're disabled through no fault of their own. Sometimes it's not just a single veteran, sometimes it's a veteran with a family. Or veterans with families. So, Liberty Manor for Veterans is the first residential program of its kind in America. They provide housing to veterans who have become homeless as a result of an unemployment situation or an injury that has left them unemployable. There's lots of residential programs for veterans that suffer from drug addiction or mental health, but nothing's really out there for the veteran that's merely down and out on their luck, and all they really need is a break. They need someone to just give them a break, give them the opportunity to get themselves up by the bootstraps and get started with whether it's a new career or anything like that, just to get their lives back up and running. So the organization does have a Facebook page. They're at Liberty Manor for Veterans Inc. So follow their Facebook page, and if you wish to make a donation, you can do that at libertymanor.org. That's libertymanor.org. And that's our Spotlight Charity of the Month, the Spotlight Nonprofit Organization of the Month. So,
Our brothers and sisters, if they've fallen on hard times, that serve in the military, deserve
mhm,
that help, that helping hand. I mean, if it's on no fault of their own,
exactly,
they deserve that much.
exactly.
A simple help out.
So, we have a couple of dad jokes lined up because apparently this is a thing, and I blame you entirely
Oh
for
dear
that.
crap.
I blame you entirely for this. But there's one very special one that I'm going to play first because this is from our very good friend Tim from APR Coffee.
He
It's
accepted the challenge.
Yes, he did. He accepted the challenge. If you're interested in American Pride Roasters, AmericanPrideRoasters.com, the best coffee on earth. Trust us when we tell you it is the best coffee on earth. Forget the siren place, forget the place with the donuts, forget all of those places, forget the Golden Arches coffee, all of those places, their coffees suck. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Go there, get yourself some coffee. Here is Tim from APR Coffee with his dad joke.
Hi, this is Tim, the APR social media helper, calling from American Pride Roasters regional office in Cleveland, Ohio. I know you like dad jokes, so I have one to share with you. A Mexican magician tells the audience he will disappear on the count of 3. He says, uno, dos, poof. He disappeared without a trace. Thank you, and have a good day.
Come on, that one was funny. I laughed. He disappeared without a trace.
The rim shot definitely helps out with the joke.
Exactly. This is one from Doug, executive producer extraordinaire Doug from Real Food, Real People. You can hear them on our sister network, Spoonie.com, the network that's all dedicated to food.
This is producer Doug from Real Food, Real People. A bunch of action heroes are having a costume party, and the theme is composers. Sylvester Stallone says, I'm going to be Mozart. Bruce Willis says, then I'm going to be Beethoven. Arnold Schwarzenegger says, I'll be Bach.
Oh, crap.
It's funny, but it's classic. Come on now. It's a classic.
And you know
I'll
what?
be
I gotta give
back.
Doug is actually a neighbor of mine. We grew up all of like 30 minutes from each other. So
Mhm.
oh man.
Yes. Here's one from our good friend Peter. Peter Seraphine from Liberty Lighthouse. You can hear his show later tonight. It airs every Saturday at 8 p.m. I don't know if he's going to have a live show, but if you haven't heard his show, you should because he's very educational, very entertaining, and a very smart man. And he's got a wonderful beard. I have to tell you, he's got a wonderful,
I'm kind
wonderful
of jealous of the beard. I watch his stuff every morning, and yeah,
Wonderful beard.
dude's got a beard.
A strokeable beard.
Your word, not mine.
13. It's Peter from the Liberty Lighthouse calling with my weekly dad joke. See, yesterday, I strung all of my watches together to make a belt. It was a waste of time. Don't forget to check out the Liberty Lighthouse Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on Mojo 50 Radio, where there are no dad jokes.
Now there's going to be just a lot of smart talk. A lot of smart talk. We have 2 more. This one here is from Doc Thompson got run over by an Amtrak, our friend Kinsey, in which, in case you didn't know, Kinsey has his own podcast and he does the Mojo Week in Review.
Yes.
The Tin Can Show.
I listened to it. I gave him a review. It's actually really, really good.
He is.
He's got a beautiful voice.
Kinsey is Kinsey's a staple. Kinsey's a staple within our community for various reasons. Here's his joke.
All right, here we go. What is the difference between a vitamin and a hormone? You can't hear a vitamin.
Damn, they're getting a little racy.
It's Kinsey, of course. Well, that's a dad joke for the 18 and over, for the 18 and over crowd.
Yeah, there's a bunch of 12-year-olds going, a vitamin hormone.
What?
I don't understand.
You'll know in 6 years' time, son. And this last one is from our very good friend Indiana Mikey.
What did the fish say when it swam into a concrete wall? Damn.
What? It's funny.
Man. Hey, what happened to, didn't the Knights Who Say Knee send one in?
Did I miss that one?
Oh, I'm sure it's not funny. It doesn't really matter.
No, I could have sworn that I had it. Oh, well, we'll save it for next week. Sorry, Knights Who Say Knee. Sorry, knee. Knee.
Oh, I was looking forward to that one.
I know. I swear I thought I had it. I thought I
That's
had
all
it.
right.
I don't know if it was maybe I forgot to load it or I don't know what happened to it. Let me see. Is it not here?
I don't know. We
Oh,
can't blame the
yes.
intern. We got rid of the intern.
Yeah, well, the intern's a little frozen right now. So, do you want to do stories? Let me see how much time we have left. Yeah, we can do stories. Do you want to do stories?
So can I do my review of the hot sauce first?
Yes. Yes, please go ahead.
So I encountered Pex, P-E-X, Pepper's hot sauce over on Twitter. Don't remember how I ran into it, but I found it. It is a veteran-owned solo owner. I mean, he's doing it from his home.
Mhm.
He's grown it like literally from his kitchen table, but veteran-owned. So he's one of the brothers. He started his own hot sauce business, and it is growing and growing and growing. And I talked to him. We interchanged back and forth on Twitter a little bit. He told me his story, and I'm like, dude, I checked out his webpage. His webpage is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Pexpeppers.com, P-E-X peppers.com. And I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out. I'm like, I really want to. And I checked out the website. The website's colorful. It's beautifully well done, very professional. And I started looking over all the different flavors that he has. He has a plethora. I broke out the thesaurus just to describe this business. A plethora of hot sauces, and it's not just any bozo can do hot sauce. I mean, literally, any bozo can just do a hot sauce. It's hot, it's spicy, you can't feel your mouth. Great, you got a hot sauce. Pex pepper sauce does flavorful. My tongue
Flavorful.
is still just dancing from what I experienced with the hot sauce I got. He sent me Cosmic Peach. It's a peach hot sauce. It was like, guys, do you remember that pretty girl in high school that kissed you that one time by your locker and it was sweet tasting, but it was hot? That was the Cosmic Peach. I wanted to show you the bottle that I got from Pex Pepper Sauce, but and I got it a couple days ago, and I'm all out. I'm all out. I've put it on my eggs every morning since I got it, and I've actually gone through it all because my daughter found it, and my daughter started using it too.
boy.
I'm already plumb out of the big bottle that they got, that I got in the mail, and I'm gonna have to go back and buy some more. But the peach pepper, the Cosmic Peach hot sauce, there we go, was freaking phenomenal. It was sweet and it was hot. It was so tasty, and it didn't like numb your mouth where you're like, I can't taste anything else. You tasted hot, you tasted sweet, and then you tasted the food that you put on it. It actually made the food better. So if you get a chance, guys, he's a vet. Check him out. Veteran owned. You're looking at the webpage right now, aren't you?
I am, only because Valentine's Day weekend was last weekend, and my husband's a huge fan of hot sauces. So I actually, at the recommendation of Indiana Mike, I went and I visited a hot pepper sauce company out of South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. Also, like single owner, and their hottest sauce is actually being submitted to the Guinness Book of World Records to be registered as hottest hot sauce. So my husband and his coworkers get together every Friday and they have a hot sauce tasting. So every week someone brings a new hot sauce and they all try it and they laugh at each other because they can't take the heat, right? So for Valentine's Day, I got him a couple of hot sauces, different flavors, different levels. But the one particular one that's super mega hot came from this one pepper company. And now that I see Pex Peppers, they have the Killer Swarm hot sauce. And that one uses Trinidad Scorpion chiles, which I was reading a scale, I guess a scale of hot peppers.
Yes.
See how many Scoville units they are. And so the one sauce that I bought my husband that's being entered to the Guinness Book of World Records is made with Carolina Reapers. It's a special breed of Carolina Reapers, and those have a Scoville heat unit of 1.4 million to 2.2 million. The Trinidad Scorpion is just below that at 1.2 million to 2 million Scoville units. So this hot sauce is made with Trinidad Scorpion, chiles, vinegar, lime juice, honey, and no sodium, which is perfect for him because my husband has high blood pressure and he should stay away from high sodium.
I mean, check out
things.
the prices aren't even that bad. They're good.
The prices are very, very reasonable.
I'm a
And of course,
cheapskate
if you
too.
buy,
I mean,
yeah, no, but it also says that if you buy in not in bulk, but if you buy more than one bottle, you do get a little bit of a discount for buying a certain amount of hot sauces. So I think I love supporting veterans. So in as much as I liked the story, the origin story of the other gentleman from the other hot sauce company. It's like recovering addict, and as a way to clean up his life and do better in his life, he started growing peppers and started making hot sauces. I'm like, well, maybe I could support both. I like stories like that. But hey, I'll support a veteran if it means that my husband sweats a little bit.
oh yeah, because I looked at all the different flavors and I'm like, it's not just hot. He had these just beautiful ingredients mixed in, and I was just
Hmm.
I struggled trying to figure out. I'm like, which one do I want to try first? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And I picked the Cosmic Peach because who doesn't like some peaches?
So is it like super, super hot, or is it like a mild, tingly feeling in your mouth? Oh, it says 5 out of 10 creeps up on you, but still mild.
Yeah, I thought it was more of a medium, the Cosmic Peach that I got. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like, oh my God, it hurts. It was just like a, huh, you felt a slap, and I'm like, and then it was tasty. And I'm like, I like that. It was good. That's
Hmm.
what I like out of a hot sauce. I'm like, slap me and
Mm-hmm.
then kiss me. Slap me and kiss me. That's what I like.
That's what Mr. Fish tells Mrs. Fish on Saturday nights.
I'm not saying anything because she's listening.
Because it's true.
She's
Because it's
listening,
true.
and now she's on Twitter too. So I got to be really mindful of my P's and my
Oh,
Q's.
yeah. Oh, they have a Coastal Revenge pineapple habanero barbecue sauce.
Oh, I just introduced you to the worst website in the world because his
Mm.
website is so good, and it's like looking at a menu at a really good restaurant. You're like, ooh, and that
Mm.
sounds good. Oh, and that sounds good. Ooh, and that sounds good.
Mm. It uses smoked Trinidad Scorpion chiles. Ooh. Mm.
So
Mm-mm-mm.
you're gonna make nummy sounds the rest of the show, or are we gonna do new
Mm-mm-mm.
Pex pepper sauce?
My mouth is watering, and as much as I tolerate heat. Don't get me wrong,
Well, you
but
got
I
a
don't
good-looking
go for
husband.
the crazy. I don't go for the crazy hot sauces because I know my limitations. But I don't mind getting a little tingle in my tongue.
So, guys, here's what we need you to do. Here's the plan. Go find Pex Peppers on Twitter.
Yes.
Go follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Go tell them that we sent you from Room 13. If you're going to go buy something, you got to go check out their website, which I highly suggest you do. On the
Mm-hmm.
notes of your order form, tell them Room 13 sent you.
Yes.
I want to show this business what we can do for them. What can Mojo 50 Radio do for them? So help
Absolutely.
us show them what we got. Help us
Mm-hmm.
show the big numbers that we got amongst the Jackhole family. and give them a little business. And give them a little business.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Give him some business and give him some business. We have probably about 6 minutes left of airtime.
I know you like your
Do-
story. You need to do your story.
I kind of like my story. So, my daughter has all of a sudden discovered Disney princesses. And I've been subjected lately to Let It Go.
I'm so sorry.
And of course, my child in her limited vocabulary is now singing along. It's cute as all get out, but dang, girl, you're a couple of years late. You're just a couple years late, but I'll allow it because it's my child and I love her. But apparently, and I did not know that this is what they call it, there is such a thing as Rapunzel syndrome. And I came to find out because a giant hairball tore through a teen's stomach, requiring surgery. The teen was diagnosed with an extremely rare condition called Rapunzel syndrome. So Rapunzel, Rapunzel, don't eat your hair.
Oi.
Yes, this from Fox News. A teen in the UK who compulsively ate her own hair ended up developing a massive hairball in her stomach that tore a hole through her stomach wall, according to a report. The oval-shaped hairball was 19 inches long and completely filled her stomach, according to the report published February 9th in the journal BMJ Case Reports. The 17-year-old initially went to the hospital after she fainted twice, bruising her face and scalp during the falls. Doctors wanted to rule out a head injury, but during an exam, they also noticed a mass in the girl's upper abdomen. The teen said she had experienced intermittent abdominal pain for the past 5 months, which had worsened over the 2 weeks prior to her hospital visit, the report said. She also had a history of 2 mental health disorders, trichotillomania, or a strong urge to pull out one's hair, and the related condition trichophagia, or the compulsive eating of hair. A computed tomography scan revealed a grossly distended stomach with a large mass inside and a tear in the stomach wall, according to the study authors from Queen's Medical Center in Nottingham in England.
She can do what my cat does?
Yeah, apparently not. Apparently she can just hack it out. The teen was diagnosed with Rapunzel syndrome, in which a hairball in the stomach, known medically as a trichobasor, extends into the intestine. She underwent surgery and doctors removed the hairball, which was so large it formed a cast of her entire stomach.
That's kind of cool. I mean, I don't want one, but that sounds kind of cool.
Well, it says that among the people who suffer from these particular conditions, about 1% of these people develop masses of hair in their gastrointestinal tract, according to a 2019 study published in the journal Pancreas. An interesting name for a
I see that.
medical
Okay.
journal. But
I'm
yeah,
digesting the information.
I'm sure you are. At least you get to digest the information, unlike she did with the hairball. So eating hair can cause serious complications, including obstruction of the intestines and even death, according to the Mayo Clinic. In 2017, a 16-year-old girl in England died from Rapunzel syndrome after a hairball in her stomach caused a fatal infection. So I feel bad for this girl. So, but fortunately, this girl had an uneventful post-operative course and was released from the hospital 7 days after her surgery. 1 month later, she had no signs of complications, was progressing well with dietary advice, and was seeing a psychologist.
Yes.
So, don't eat your hair, people. In case you didn't know that by now, please don't eat your hair. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. I understand that you have a follow-up on a story from our last episode, and make it quick because we got about a minute left.
So I'll do one of them. I found more books at the local Target that seem a bit questionable. The first installment is called Bob the Booger Fairy Bob the Booger Fairy. Yes, Bob the Booger Fairy dreams of being as famous as the Tooth Fairy, but when he tries his booger best to be noticed, he neglects his fairy duties, and the world becomes swamped by a sticky, icky booger catastrophe. Gets stuck into this snot-tastic tale about duty, fame, and nose snorters. Bob the Booger Fairy. People, I'm not making this crap up. Can we get the? We can.
Yes.
Bob the Booger Fairy. I don't know who's writing this stuff, but holy crap. This is not a very sweet fairy tale. I don't even know what to say anymore. But
I
next
I
week,
know that there's markets for these books, kind of like how was it Dave Pilkey has the Captain Underpants
I understand Captain Underpants.
books, so they're trying to like make it funny, and it's for the younger crowd of kids, and in a way it's a way to encourage kids to read more. Nothing makes me happier than seeing kids buying books.
Yeah, if you
Because
get your kid to read.
and if I had more time, I would read more. But I was an avid reader, voracious reader when I was growing up. But that's a story for another day. Here we are at the end of our show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, this Saturday morning. We hope that the rest of your day is great. Stick around for more content on mojo50.com. Say goodnight, fish.
Good night, fish.
We should do bonus content.
I think so, because we end up planning for so much, and then we run out of we flip. But don't tell Ron that, because then he'll want 2 hours.
Yeah, no.
I'm thinking we do a if you can think of what to call it. You know how the bells had midweek chime.
Housekeeping.
Oh, there it is.
Room 13 housekeeping.
I'm thinking we do the one chip challenge.
I still have the chip from the last time that Tom didn't eat it.
Because 209 really wants you to do it.
I told him that I would probably be okay with doing it. I don't know why he wants me to eat the dang chip, but I'll do it.
Apparently, he farms hot peppers.
That's my understanding. Yeah, we're still recording.
I'm not supposed to let that information out. He told me not to. He's a spider.
I know that information.
Oh, I didn't know you knew that. Okay.
Of course I know that information. Everybody who's on Zoom during the course of the day knows that 209 grows peppers.
Oh, well, crap. Here he told me like months ago.
You're not special.
Oh, he made me feel special.
I'm sure he did. He got what he wanted from you, made you feel special, and now that he got it from you, now he's going to offer it to other people the same way that he did you.
Oh, now I know how those girls felt I dated in high school. So we do the one chip challenge. I say we do Bean Boozle Jelly Bean Roulette. Just for that face. I'll even buy the Bean Boozled.
They sell them at Walmart.
Oh, they sell them at Five Below. I was gonna go Five Below.
They sell I think that they still do. They'll sell like the little boxes in the checkout.
We don't have to do the hot ones. We could just, everyone pull, we can spin the little wheel, call out a color, and we just see how it goes.
I think Jelly Belly actually makes Tabasco hot sauce flavored beans.
Yeah, they do, because that's the new one that's out. It's the How Hot jelly beans. And I'm like, I've already done the hot thing. I don't know if I want to do it again. I will eat the dog food flavored jelly bean again. I've done that once already. It'll be like you and Jaina doing the zombie Skittle thing again. Which I don't remember who got screwed on that deal.
Jaina did.
Yeah.
That was bad. I swear, I think it was like the very first one that she put in her mouth was a zombie Skittle. I was so mad. I felt so bad. She probably had like 4 in a row. And it took me a while to get to an actual not zombie, but like rotten egg flavored Skittle.
I don't know what else we can. I mean, I'm sure there's something else we can do. I mean, you guys did. I never watched the midweek chimes. What did you guys do?
Midweek chimes were just basically touching base on topics that would come up in the middle of the week. At one point, we would rotate where one of us would do like a little 10 minute blast. And then at one point, midweek chimes were like more like 15 minutes, but they were supposed to be like on Facebook Live. So we did those for a bit, but scheduling conflicts and things like that.
So I'm trying to figure out what we could do.
I don't know. We can think on it.
Unless we cover stories that we missed during the week.
But we're only a 1-hour show on the weekends. So how much content do we want to cover?
I know, that's what I'm trying to
Maybe
figure
like
out.
maybe like your odd story, or I don't know, because your stories are so great for the show, though.
I know, and I don't want to give up.
They're great Saturday morning fodder.
I don't want to give up content for Saturday.
Yes, exactly.
So it's got to be definitely like visual things that we couldn't otherwise do. Again, like the one chip challenge or the Bean Boozled thing. That's more of a visual joke than it is a audio joke.
And it doesn't require very much. I was gonna say either that or we can do, so Room 13 is a non-political show. Do we want to touch a little bit into politics in the middle of the week?
We could ask to see if anybody would actually be interested in that.
To showcase our versatility. We can put it on a poll. This is the content that people signed up for. I don't know who, but
yeah, that one soul. Man, you're a sicko. I'm trying to think what else we could do.
I don't know. Well, since we're still recording, we could submit it for people who happen to be watching the video until the very end and have them put in comments or whatever what they think we should do.
Yeah, why are you still watching this? Why are you watching? Not Rocky. No, I'm talking to you, the viewer. You're a sicko. The show ended. I don't know why you're still here.
I don't know.
The first hour wasn't entertaining. Why do you think this part's going to be entertaining? Weirdo.
That's why I only do a 1-hour show. That's all we got.
Yeah,
if we do 2 hours, we're just going to keep rambling on and get boring. Kind of like now.
It's like my honeymoon. After the first 5 minutes, I got no more moves. I got nothing.
Time's up. Ding.
Yeah. What else you got? That was it. That was all my great moves. That was it. I only had a couple.
How have you been able to keep the spark alive after all these years?
Smoke and mirrors. Lots of drugs. Alcohol.
And turn the lights off. Don't open your eyes, dear. Don't look over here.
Lots of therapy.
That too, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Why are you still here? Go away. Oh my gosh, go. No more.